Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down here with Tim Getsch, founder and CEO of COMC.com.
Hello.
Hey Tim, how's it going?
Good.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
It's going to be fun. So Tim, did you hear about Radicards prior to my reaching out to you at all? I always kind of ask this.
I actually it's since you reached out to me, but I talked to some of my employees. Obviously you interviewed Rich Klein already.
Yeah.
And then Brandon also follows a lot of the stuff that you're doing, so they're excited to tell me about you. But yeah.
There you go. It's brand new to the Radicards brand. Thank you so much, Tim. I really appreciate it. If you're unfamiliar with COMC, they're the largest consignment company known to man. Really incredible stuff. It used to be called checkoutmycards.com.
Yes.
When I heard about it in 2007.
Yep. Yeah,
in those earlier years.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. Check them out. COMC.com. You can submit as well to have this stuff processed, and his company will take care of it. Also on Twitter, it's twitter.com/checkoutmycards, so definitely be sure to follow them. Really cool stuff, Tim. I want to just get right into it here. So I see you worked with Microsoft before launching COMC. In what ways was your tenure with Microsoft beneficial to your work in the development of COMC in its early stages?
That's actually a really good question.
Okay.
It's not just beneficial in our early stages, it's beneficial even today. I actually worked on both Excel and Microsoft Access when I was there, and even stayed in close contact with Microsoft since then. I built our internal software on top of Microsoft Access, which I helped design, so I know it inside and out. And actually I just had lunch with some friends at Microsoft, and next month I'm going to their Ignite conference, and I'm going to co-host a session telling them about some of the new features that now I as a customer am using. So it's helped me kind of stay on top of technology, helped me build the software without having to invest a lot in external, in-house or external development. So we're able to kind of move fast, be nimble, and then I've had a lot of bugs that I've run into, and I've been able to talk to people that were still at Microsoft and had them address some of those issues that I would have been stumped by if I didn't have those connections.
So that's a really good interaction because you're still able to smooth out the kinks that you can find help quickly with your former team.
Yeah.
That's really nice. That's a nice arrangement. Good stuff. Can you talk about one or two specific instances that acted as the catalyst for your direct decision to depart from Microsoft to pursue your work on what would eventually become COMC?
So there were a couple of things that got me thinking about it. The first, I was in between product cycles, and a lot of times towards the end of a product cycle, this is back in the day, we would do like a 3-year product cycle, and there'd be like a death march at the end trying to ship the product, and then we'd take some time off. So during one of my first breaks between product cycles, looked back at my childhood hobby to see what was going on, because when I was collecting before going off to college, eBay was just starting, and we kind of saw where things could go. I had seen the Pit and E-Tops, and kind of like, okay, what's the next innovation? And so I went and looked, and I was disappointed that there wasn't more cool things that you could do with technology and trading cards. So I really just wanted to figure out what we could do, and I just started to think about inefficiencies, and on eBay I was always trying to find a really big seller in order to get the best price on shipping, and I thought, gosh, if we could just all pool our resources and put everything in one place, then we could all benefit from everything being in one shipment instead of only the largest sellers giving that benefit. Like if we could all do it, then we could just enjoy collecting more. So I started thinking about those things while I was at Microsoft, and a friend of mine just encouraged me to start a hobby business just as an excuse to have a tax write-off. So that was what started the first company. It was just kind of an excuse. It was going to be a hobby business. I just wanted to buy stuff on eBay and then sell it on my site and break even.
Low price cards.
Yes, 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 yes. So I was just trying to, like, I just wanted to have a self-sustaining hobby. And I was using all this technology that I had learned at Microsoft, kind of cutting edge stuff at the time, and I basically just tried to see what we could do, and I got more people interested in putting their cards on low-price cards than people wanting to buy stuff, because I didn't have a big enough selection. Like, you can have the best-looking website ever, but if you don't have the content someone wants to buy, it doesn't matter. So I was like, all right, that idea about like pooling our resources, I think maybe I should do that. And so I was talking to Andy Bird, who was one of the first developers I hired, or the first developer I hired. He was looking for the next garage startup. I had a literal garage startup. Right. So I had him move from Minnesota out to Seattle. He actually was living in the room over our garage for like 9 months while he rebranded low-price cards as Check Out My Cards. And then that was when I took the leap and left Microsoft. And looking back, it was crazy. Like, the company was tiny, tiny, tiny at that point. But it was, I kind of saw some of the writing on the wall, and I wanted to spend time doing things that I was really passionate about.
Yeah.
I get to use all of my passions: technology, trading cards, and why not?
Sure. You were gonna love the rest of the questions on this interview. This is good stuff. I'm glad we're jumping into this. I know that when you see an idea, the risk that is required, you have to accept jumping in, can sometimes be scary. How did you, and this is outside of the scope of the questions, this is kind of like just off the top of my head, how did you process that as being, you know what, I could probably make what I'm making at Microsoft and maybe make more? And on top of that, was there a point when you felt like you had to, I guess because you have to build, did you feel like you had to dip into some of your savings reserve to like kind of live off of for a while until this got going enough to be sustainable?
Okay, so I did not leave Microsoft because I thought I was going to make more money elsewhere. I left Microsoft because I wanted to do something that I was totally passionate about.
Love it.
I actually had a friend that I went to elementary school with that started one of the early social networking websites, and he was on a panel of entrepreneurs, and they were talking about what it takes to have a successful startup.
Right.
And basically every company has hard times, and the thing that gets you through the hard times is your passion for what you're doing. If you're in it for money, there's going to be a point when the money isn't there, and that's why 90% of startups fail. So kind of the feedback I got is if I had an idea that I was passionate about, that would help me get through the hard times to hopefully better days. So that's kind of what, like, I knew I was passionate about this. I knew I was willing to sacrifice.
Right.
And I definitely had to tap into savings, and it took several years before I was able to even take any money out of the company.
Right. It just goes right back in.
Yeah, yeah. So it definitely took a while. Actually, there's a book, Rework, by 37 Signals.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of their concepts.
Basecamp.
Yep. So I followed a lot of those same principles in getting started. I started while I had another job. I actually did consulting with Microsoft so that I didn't have to take money out of the company when I was first starting, and then just eventually got to the point where it could be my full attention and not have to get my money elsewhere.
There you go. I think that that's a really key piece that, you know, talk about it in certain things that I do, like presentations in a book I authored 2 years ago, is that if you love something, you know, you should try to find you should be able to find opportunities in whatever that is, because you love it so much.
Yeah.
And because you spend so much time absorbing that content, it shouldn't be hard to find an opportunity in it to make some money and build a business around it. That's why I think hobbies are so important.
I completely agree. It is really cool to make a living with trading cards. Like, I mean, I have now 100 employees, not all of them, but many of them, a lot of the people that are here, they get to do their childhood hobby for a living. Some people, it's a job, and they do great work, but there's a lot of people that have always loved cards, and they didn't see an opportunity to make a living in trading cards, and now to be able to do that, that's so cool. And not only I, but so many of my employees can enjoy that.
You're changing your community for the better value. Good stuff, good stuff. I might have a redundant question, but we're going to get to it. Here's the redundant question. Did you secure capital up front, and if so, can you share any acquisition challenges and the case you used to win over investors?
Very good question. I actually bootstrapped everything. That said, I feel like I was given some opportunities that are atypical. And this is actually something that I'm pretty passionate about. I was fortunate enough to have grandparents that set aside money for college for me. So I had tuition-free college. I left college with no debt. I started at Microsoft, so that not everybody gets an opportunity to start at a large company like that. I was able to start saving right away. After 10 years at Microsoft, I was able to start a business without bringing on investors. So those are not typical, but they could be much more common. For example, if we offered tuition-free college, we could allow many more people to start without being buried in debt, which then gives them the flexibility to save and to start new businesses. So I'm a big fan of giving people more opportunities, because I think I'm not the only one that has great ideas like this, and so many people they can't even get started, because the only way to do it would be to bring on an investor, and it just gets so much more complicated. If people can start small and can save and can go do more things, can get the training, the education they need, I think we're going to see so many exciting things develop in the world.
Yeah, and then there's also the SBA loan option. It's through the bank, right? That's another option as well. Good stuff, man. These are interesting things to talk about. You know, I think these are rare instances where you get to finish college without debt, because of the fortunate ability to have parents who saved for you to go to college. Someone who has debt and still paying off his master's degree, I have to realize that that's just part of life. That, like, as long as I can manage it, I can get over it and keep growing whatever I'm growing as I'm paying my debt off.
Yeah.
It's a good one. What are some of the challenges you've experienced early on in the brand's development?
Early on, I think this is true of any company. It takes a long time to develop a brand. It takes, you have to be patient, especially if you're relying on people purchasing from you. For them to have enough trust to pull out their credit card, to bother placing a shipment, it's hard to get that going. And I think because I didn't have specific goals or like investors that had certain expectations of me, I was able to be more patient and just do what I thought was right for the business rather than what was right for the bottom line at a certain point. And so I definitely, we took our time to get here. You've been following us for more than 10 years. It's steady growth, but we were tiny. We didn't just start big. We took our time to grow, and I think just a lot of patience, and it's not just waiting, it's actively like defending the brand that we wanted to create. So we want to be safe and easy. So doing things to make sure it's safe and easy. When people have a bad experience, make sure we learn from that and try to give them a good experience. There's so many things that are different about our business model, and that's probably another big thing. It's so atypical. It's not like what everybody else is doing, so you can't just relate it. Like when we start talking about the site, people are like, oh, so you're just another eBay. Well, the things that you do on eBay, you can do them on PoundC, but it's a totally different paradigm. And definitely when we started, the concept of paying someone else and shipping your cards up front was foreign. Fortunately, the community rallied around the idea, and we just tried, our goal was to just provide a service that was so good that people couldn't help but tell others about it. And that's why we were called Check Out My Cards. I didn't want to hire a marketing department. I wanted all of our customers to be our marketing department, and rather than me putting money into marketing, which I don't know anything about, I just made the service as good as it possibly could be and let our customers spread by word of mouth.
So what I really love about CMC is aggregated shipping. I can ship today or I can ship in a year, and you'll still just charge me the flat rate, whatever it is for everything. And I can have hundreds of cards. I've had multi-hundred card orders come in a brick, and I was happy to pay the $5 or whatever instead of paying $500 over the course of 2 years to try to get all that stuff. So I really like that piece of it. I think that's the core competency of CMC. That's the delivery. That's the thing that you guys differentiate yourself in terms of eBay. eBay doesn't have that model. They're not set up that way.
And really every site that requires immediate shipment has that same issue. And that's how most, like if you're going to use a credit card processor, you have to provide proof of delivery in order to protect yourself against chargebacks. And so that kind of forces everybody to use the standard model of ship right now. But as a collectible, it's not. We're not like Amazon. Amazon is selling a lot of things that people need immediately. You need shampoo, you need food, you need tools. And so if you can get it to them faster, they'll buy from your website. With us, it's, do you have the thing I've been hunting forever for? Great, you have it. I just need to know that I'm actually going to get it. Once I'm confident I'm going to get it, I know I own it, I see a picture of it, send it to me whenever, and now we're able to create some efficiency that other business models just don't really have that opportunity.
I think each one of the big models, the big companies, they accommodate a certain market need. And you're included in that. You accommodate a certain market need, and I think that's where brand loyalty is going to come in with your customers. Like, oh my gosh, this is cool, I can do this and then wait and have to ship that later. Maybe inventory may or may not be as good or better, but you can figure out, like, this works for me in addition to everything else, like essentially like my collecting scope income model, like whatever I'm using to get my cards, CMC is in that mix. I really like that. It's really cool. In the beginning, did you ever think CMC would become what it is today? It might be a loaded question.
I had several employees that saw this before I did. I was very focused, especially early on just like paying payroll. I just had to make sure that the company was surviving, and I had employees that saw what we did and knew the market better than I did and predicted the size of the company before I saw it. And then eventually, and this was probably 3-4 years in, I just did the math and I just saw where we were going. I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to be in 5 years, and that's where we were. But it wasn't like I had a vision, this is what I'm going to set out to do and I'm going to force this to happen. It was more like, that's actually going to happen. Like, that's where we're going. And just did the math.
So you're looking at predicting the model as it's going from a historical analysis in the past. I think a lot of new businesses need to be able to have that focus and understand where we're going because of where we've been and seeing like, okay, what are year to year, like how's that look every year? How are we growing percentage wise? Was that something that you did on spreadsheet wise, or did you kind of like break it down more qualitatively, or what was your strategy?
I keep track of tons of numbers.
Okay.
I have a math background in addition to computer science, and so
Minnesota.
Yeah. I went through and we keep track of how much time everything takes. I know that, for example, and now the cost of labor has gone up, but for a while the metric I was using is every 2 seconds generally costs me a penny. And if I'm charging 20, 25, 30 cents for a service, every penny matters. They add up very, very quickly. So I definitely looked at a lot of the metrics to manage our costs and look for opportunities to just do things more efficiently so that we wouldn't have to raise fees or make sure that the fees kind of stayed in line with the service that we're offering. And that kind of just like managing that ended up with time and the growth of the user base caused the growth. I wasn't focused on the growth and trying to like, what can I do to make us grow faster? It was more saying, okay, in order for us to keep our costs under control, in order to offer our service as cost effectively as possible, I need to make sure that we can do things internally more efficiently. So the website is great. We've done a lot of stuff on the website. I always think of the website as the tip of the iceberg.
Sure.
Our technology, 90% of it is not visible. We couldn't offer what we do without efficiently managing our inventory, without efficiently processing everything that comes in. So that's where most of my attention has gone, is just making the engine efficient so that people can enjoy the website, the things that you actually see. And that's our goal, is to maximize enjoyment, to optimize enjoyment, maximize what you care about, minimize what you don't. So basically, anything that you're having fun doing, we want to let you do more of that. I don't know anybody that loves packaging cards and taking them to the post office. I mean, they do sometimes because they're like, yes, I actually got a sale.
Right.
But after a while, if you're actually successful at it, that's one of the first things you
farm it out. You
know
what I'm saying?
So that's something that we want to build. We have people, this is their profession. We have people that have been doing this 8+ years.
Right.
So we now have tools for them so that they can do a job really well, very proficiently, and it's less expensive than you would have to pay to do it yourself. Right. So we can do it better, cheaper. Why wouldn't you just use us?
Well, that's the big thing, is that like, if you do something well, that's your skill, and you want to make sure that that becomes better over time. And then anything you don't do well, you farm out to people that are good at those things. And that's a really good thing to do. And I think after a while, your time is better spent doing something else that can bring in more money, whereas the shipping arm of it, being farmed out, can make you guys' process become faster for the customer, which is a good thing. Looks like we got some lights turning out, so I'll go on to the next question here. This is a good one, you'll like this one. With regard to hiring team members, what's more important to you, subject proficiency or team compatibility?
So it turns out if someone's not compatible with the team, it doesn't really matter how proficient they are.
All right.
That's the simple answer. We have had to let go of some of our top performers because we couldn't build a team around them. So it's kind of a non-starter if they don't fit in with the team.
The cultural piece, right? It doesn't work with the culture. Like, it's an interesting story. Back in business school, I was trying to get a job with one of the skateboarding companies. And I knew the culture because I grew up skateboarding, used to be sponsored. So I knew walking in, I just needed to wear like normal skateboarding clothes. And I asked the hiring manager, I was like, what's it like for people to be interviewed that aren't in the culture? Like, well, they come in with suits and ties. It's completely outside of the scope of our culture. We don't need the suit and tie. We're a skateboarding company. So I totally understand the personality job fit piece being of paramount significance and mission critical significance when it comes to hiring. It's good stuff. In your work with COMC, can you share one or two experiences that have had a positive impact on you both personally and professionally?
Okay. I would say something that happens time and time again is just hearing the appreciation for what we have built, and whether that's externally, like here at the show, just hearing people enjoy about how much they've enjoyed the service. Obviously, it makes all the hard work feel that much better. But even internally, just having an employee come to me and talk about some challenge they're facing and figuring out a solution and maybe changing our software so that it makes their job better. And getting that immediate feedback of, okay, yesterday they had this problem, now they don't, they're happy. Like, those things are constantly just an encouragement, and it's something that I feed off. I love doing. So that, like, when I was at Microsoft, it was such this delayed gratification, if at all, because we would
project management.
We do like a 3-year release, and then you wait 2 years before someone uses it, and then you might get feedback from them. And here, like, literally, I can release a feature and hear feedback that day, the next day. I like that touch.
Yeah, I know it's kind of like being a band manager. Nobody cares about the manager; they care about the band. So the band manager is more like alienated role, right? Especially in project management, the end user doesn't know what went into creating the project, so they might not understand or even care to provide feedback. And as we both know, feedback is sometimes only given when it's negative.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's definitely
sometimes
true. Yeah.
Unless you ask for it, which is another point entirely. Good stuff. If you were to give advice to the novice entrepreneur, what would it be?
So definitely, like you were saying, pick something you're passionate about. I think expect that it's going to be difficult. Have a lot of patience, and like you're saying, find your things that you're strong at, focus on those, outsourcing the things that you're weak at. Definitely learn from other people. But something that's helped me is trying to think outside the box and do things different from how everybody else is doing it, rather than just trying to be another of the same thing that everybody else is doing and just doing the same thing better. Like, what can you do differently? So find your passion, make sure you know what your strengths are, and then see how you can change what you're passionate about. Actually make an impact. Do something a little differently, provide something that can kind of take the thing that you're passionate about one step further.
It's a really good piece. I like the concept of just, well, passion is a piece, but also identifying a market need is the other piece, right? That's the other, that's the 1-2 punch. And if you can find that and be passionate, I think you've got something going. One thing is,
I do want to make one clarification.
Yes.
The number one factor in the success of a company, unfortunately, is the market.
Right.
The opportunity, unfortunately, you can have the best idea ever, the most passion, the most talent, everything. You can have financing. If the market's not ready, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
So also don't beat yourself up if you come up with this great idea and you're passionate and it fails.
Right.
Sometimes the market's just not ready for it. But I think we were definitely fortunate the market happened to be ready when we came around.
It was good timing. So I've tinkered with 3 or 4 things prior to my current model, and it failed, but I learned a lot. And I always figured that if it's a failure, it's only a failure if you're not learning anything from it. Otherwise, it's just experience. And then what I always think of too is that, like, for entrepreneurship, find something you love, be good at it, and then be recognized for it. like those are the big pieces, right? And I think you've really like kind of spearheaded those as a Triforce, and I think it's really good for you. Moving on though, let's get right back to the interview here. I know it's a conflict of interest, but I figured I'd at least ask you this.
Okay.
Do you still collect sports cards yourself, and if so, what do you like?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I actually encourage my employees to collect as well.
Okay.
And I've kind of stayed out of certain parts of the industry to allow us to be collectors and it not to be a conflict of interest. When we know how the service works, when we feel the pains of the service, we're able to respond more quickly. There's been a lot of times where I'll get feedback from employees, or just I'll recognize some of the issues myself so that I can quickly make changes and provide a better service. I think if I wasn't in the hobby, if I wasn't paying attention, like it'd be hard to translate maybe some of the outside feedback, but because I'm in it, my employees are in it, if we hear something from a customer, we might simply need to look in that direction and experience the same pain that they're experiencing. I am actually a really big fan of a couple of basketball players, and so I have started trying to become a super collector. Okay. For example, Goran Dragic, you probably, if you had any Goran Dragic cards on the site, you have noticed my Tim Getsch account has been buying up a ton. Jamal Crawford, I actually played basketball with Jamal Crawford in the Seattle area a number of years ago. So I have actually started building features that help me as a super collector, and you'll start seeing new features that kind of help. If you're trying to complete a set, you're trying to go after a certain player, we're going to have more features that help you do that because I need them. And so they go well together, that I'm still a collector and I'm using this site. I might not use it the same way everybody else uses it, but I am another scenario and there's other people like me. And ultimately I built the service for myself. Right. It just happened to be that I wasn't the only one that liked it, and we do features that I don't necessarily use myself, but by being a collector, it helps me prioritize. And there have been times where I really wanted a feature and the rest of the team didn't think it was very important, and it was a weekend and the feature got done. So like I get to do some of those things. Also, I'm the boss, so that I can do some of that stuff. But we definitely rely on the team. Grant Westcott is in charge of the priorities of what work we actually do. So I'm not making all the decisions myself, but I get a chance to give an impact, to make an impact on prioritization of the features we work on.
Tim Getsch, everyone. Thank you so much, Tim, for sitting down with me. I really, really appreciate it. This has been an awesome interview. It's been really fun to kind of like dialogue around your passion for the hobby and your business and just kind of get to know you a little bit. It's been great. Tim Getsch is the founder and CEO of COMC.com. Definitely check him out, COMC.com, and Twitter at twitter.com/checkoutmycards. And thank you so much, Tim, for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno. Thank you, Tim. Until next time, enjoy collecting.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.